Speaking about star players, I think I mean we're supposed to list like singles and whatnot, but I had to list just the running back core as a group for this because I mean when
Mm.
you think about it, across these 3 games, they've had 121 attempts across. I think it was like 14 different people who rushed. Some of them receivers, most running backs. 122 attempts for 588 yards and 8 touchdowns over 3 games. Absolutely providing an insane tempo and start to games, allowing Morris to like build confidence, make a few mistakes, and still carry games on their backs like running backs should. And so I had to highlight them before we pick out like solo stars and whatnot. But really proud of the running back group this year. Through their first 3 games, they've been doing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the running back group, especially week 1 and 2 against Oregon State and University of Arizona, they kind of carried the team. Against Utah, I would have liked to see some more from them. Would have liked to see them kind of bail out Dylan Morris during his struggle through first half. But when they fell behind so far by the first half, it really kind of took the game away from the running backs and gave the ball to Dylan Morris, a star player that I think has met expectations and maybe even exceeded expectations. It would have to be Elijah Molden. I mean, he's the highest graded Pac-12 defensive player by PFF. He came in, so a lot of people thought he was going to opt out for sure, just save any injury, keep his draft stock. I mean, they were saying he could be a first round pick, and all he's done is exceed expectations, and he's now looking at maybe being a top 20 pick if he keeps playing this well, because he's absolute a lockdown corner, I believe, one of the best in college football, and something that on film you watch him, he's also not afraid to come up and make a tackle on the running back. In each of these games, I've noticed he's identified the run and he's made a play kind of at the line of scrimmage against a running back, holding the edge and stopping a big play. He gets there, makes the tackle. I mean, just does his job game in and game out.
Yeah, he's been doing absolutely. I mean, watching him on film, you always like wish safeties would be. I mean, like UW Seattle Seahawks. I mean, those safeties always run up in the box and not afraid to make tackles, and that's what you love to see. And so it's a great change of pace from watching weekend football to watching Husky games and like Seahawks games. I'm not endorsing the Seahawks. I'm not technically a Seahawks fan, but I mean, I'm just gonna leave that there. But it's great watching when they play because you get to see those physical upfront tackling safeties. And so seeing Molden be able to do that and take some of the weight as a senior to pick up tackles and take a little more pounding is absolutely amazing to see with him. He's absolutely deserving of being one of the bigger dogs of the season so far. Another person on defense that we have to point out is ZTF. The guy's had an amazing first 3 games. I mean, he's had 11 solo tackles, 2 assisted. So yeah, the brunt of his tackles are solos. I mean, he's had 7 sacks for a loss of 49 yards. He's had 1 pass deflection, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery already in 3 games. I mean, yeah, I just don't know what to say. I mean, that's 3 games. That's insane. I mean, I had 1 forced fumble, I think, in my entire 4 years of playing high school football. And so seeing this guy get 3 in back-to-back college games is he's playing out of his mind. Like he's going to do, if he keeps this up, like, I don't know, what big awards are there in college football? I hope he gets them.
Yeah, he's definitely on pace to have some of the most sacks in a season for UW in this shortened season only. I mean, imagine if he'd gotten the 11 or 12 game season that UW usually has, how many sacks he could possibly have. He's getting 2 a game. He had 3 last game. So he's definitely been amazing. And another guy on the defense has been just Edefon Ulfoshio at middle linebacker. He's kind of the heart of this team, I think. I think he's clearly the best form tackler. I say form tackler because, I mean, Molden's a great tackler, but not necessarily form tackle. He goes for the classic defensive back tackle. But when Ulfoshio one-on-one versus anyone really in the Pac-12, I'd take him to take him down. Jermar Jefferson, he had a number of tackles on him, and Jefferson's been one of the best backs in the Pac-12, maybe even college football, the way he's running. But Ulofoshio's definitely come in. I mean, he was a walk-on, and this is now his second year starting, basically. He started the last 5 games of last year after injuries to the middle linebackers. And when he started to play more last year, the run defense started to improve last year. And now here he is, day 1 starting. The run defense has still struggled for an unknown reason. You look at these guys, they've got Ulofoshio, They've got Josiah Bronson up front, and it's a mystery, I guess, for why they struggle in the run defense. Hopefully, they'll figure it out eventually. Right now, Ulofoshio is clearly one of the best linebackers in the Pac-12. And I touched on Molden being ranked number 1 defensive Pac-12 player in PFF. The rest of the top 5, number 2 is a UCLA player, I believe it is. Number 3 is ZTF. Number 4 is Edifon Ulofoshio. And number 5 is Trent McDuffie. So the top 5 PFF for Pac-12 defensive players, 4 of the 5 are from UW. That just shows how great this Husky defense, or how many stars this Husky defense has.
Better. Yeah, that's a better statement. I agree with that one a little bit more. I was just gonna throw us back up to our rush defense in the past 2 games, but we don't have to go to that again. One more guy to touch on offense really quickly is Cade Otton. I mean, back-to-back segments we've heard his name now. He's just absolutely insane. I mean, likewise. I mean, we wish for all of these guys that we got to see them play a couple more games before making these opinions and saying these things. Because I mean, you look at SEC schools and whatnot, and they've played upwards of 8, 9, 10, 11 games already. So we're kind of doing some line drawing, that slope, that line of best fit for these guys' stats. And if they keep going the way they're going, and they maintain just these amazing performances, they and the team are going to do very, very well in the future.
And before we get into the next topic, or are you going to keep talking about Cade Otton?
No, you could touch on it.
Just touching on another offensive player, doesn't get the most love, but an offensive lineman, Jackson Kirkland. He's been great. He was a guy that some people thought might opt out. I mean, his draft stock was maybe day 2, day 3, but all he's done is played great. I mean, he's a mauler in there at left tackle, very physical player. He great in the run game, great in the pass. This is actually his first season at left tackle. I mean, he lost 20 pounds to be more agile and help protect the blind side of the quarterback. I mean, that's what he's done. The whole offensive line has done a great job at protecting Dylan Morris. He's only been sacked once all year. So the protection has been there, and the run game wouldn't be there without some of these offensive linemen really providing a push up front.
Yeah, absolutely. And then